Welcome back to Delta Green, the game of slow decay and destruction of body and mind. It's about as far away from D&D as you can get, isn't it, in that sense? There's no healing potions around here. There's just madness and death. But there is one character still from the OG Z-Cell. Just because we've had some turnover doesn't mean that it's been all turnover.
Maybe Blair is the true Eldritch. Maybe that's how they've survived so long.
Yeah. Like, what is the average life expectancy of a Delta Green agent? Is that a joke now within Delta Green?
No, I'm actually starting to suspect Blair, honestly.
This show is rated R for all sorts of cosmic horrors and all sorts of horrible things that people do to each other. And this is mostly Z-Cell. Hassill is going to join Z-Cell sooner or later. We know this because we can see the future, even though Hassill doesn't know that yet. Feel free to introduce yourselves, folks.
Hi, I'm Briar, and I'm playing Dr. Alex Blair.
Hello, I'm Coach, and I am playing Agent Hassill.
Hello, I'm Harper, and I am playing Sarah Gwynn.
And unfortunately, we are not joined by Agent Morgan this time because they couldn't make it. Sad. Maybe they will be the sole survivor and just have to be there next session to bury the rest of you. Or we send Morgan in as the meat shield so that everyone except Morgan survives. Like, Morgan goes first, the rest of you run, right? That could work, maybe?
Nah, I want to fight Nazis.
That makes sense, actually. So last session, Hassill has joined as a liaison for now with HCell, and you continued your investigation at Billings International Airport. You visited Highline Aeronautics, the company that owned the helicopter used by the attackers. The staff was initially hesitant, but eventually revealed that the client was a company called Nuevas Fronteras. The attackers described it Europeans carried a cooler, a lot of duffel bags, and they had a bunch of luggage, and departed early that morning on a private Learjet after a rushed turnaround. You got the jet's number, but unfortunately you would realize that they didn't have to file a flight plan. They weren't flying that kind of flight, so they're lost somewhere in the south as far as. After some linguistic confusion, you used a computer to research Nuevas Fronteras and discovered it was a law firm based in Montevideo, Uruguay, that handled agricultural exports and private aviation. The firm was directly involved in shipping the pesticides from ABC through Canada to Uruguay. So clearly there's an international network work here. Blair then received a call from Agent Alphonse, who identified the lead attacker from the airport photo you had as someone called Reinhard Galt, a high-ranking SS officer from a World War II occult unit called the Karoteka. Alphonse warned that Galt had not aged since 1943, at least according to that picture, and should be assumed to be an extremely dangerous predator. Of course, alternative explanations are that it's just someone who looks very much like Reinhard Galt, or maybe it's Reinhard Galt's grandson. We don't know. But the fact that it triggered memories in Alphonse's mind from his days serving behind enemy lines in France made Blair a little bit worried, let's say. Then, you had no particular leads for where the Learjet was, and everything kind of ground to a halt until Sarah Gwynn received a frantic whispered phone call in the middle of the night from Dwight, your friend from San Francisco that you have been grooming as a contact from the Ecotopian fanzine. He was being kidnapped in California by skinheads. And he mentioned a road sign, and he mentioned the name, and then the line went dead. So you flew to San Francisco to follow this new lead. And there you managed to coordinate with local law enforcement a little bit. You tried to, but unfortunately Hassill fumbled the conversations and left you all on your own. The local state troopers, the local sheriff did not want to work with the FBI, and as far as they were concerned, there was no reason to believe that anything foul was happening on their lands. Blair's superior research skills, however, uncovered a likely suspect. Horst Jaeger. You had the name Horst, and you used that to search through databases of both the DMV and of other databases. And turns out that this Horst Jaeger, who owns the van in question, is a known leader who owns a van, I should say. You had a white van as a description. It was a bit vague. You didn't have a license plate. But he's a known leader of the white power group called the Bear Flag Republic. And he not only owns a van, he also owns a remote cabin accessible via Highway 580. That was what Dwight had mentioned over the phone call, that number. So you managed to locate the cabin and found just that it was a complete fortress in the mountains. You saw the compound, you heard white power music playing through the windows, you heard what sounded like a person in pain. Dwight or Fiona, you don't know, tortured inside. But realizing you were outgunned and facing a prepared enemy, you decided to observe from a distance and contact their handler, Drake, to weigh your grim options. And Drake has basically said, don't assault this place. If it's like you say it is, then an assault is basically a suicide. They've built themselves a bunker out here. You have not seen Reinhard Galt. You have not seen any of the commandos that you saw in Montana. And exhausted and battered and bruised as you are, you decided to wait here until perhaps Galt might turn up. And that is where we're picking up the action on this Monday, September 14th, 1998. It's 3 p.m. and Gwyn is sleeping in the car and Morgan is sleeping in the forest because they both crashed out due to low willpower points.
And other things, yeah?
Yeah. Blair and Hassill and Harriet are leading this right now. What do we want to do from here? Aside from wait.
At this point, I'm really going to ask Blair on this one as a senior agent. Essentially, we have 3 operational agents right now. I don't know how capable you and Harriet are in a firefight, but like I said, I'm guessing there's at least 4 to 16 people in there, based on the fact that there are 4 vehicles parked outside. And if the Galt and the commandos are en route, that's going to make it even worse. And so if we're in agreement that, as unfortunate as it is, the hostages in there don't know enough for us to risk our lives over, do we even want to stay here for Galt when he arrives and put ourselves in further danger? Because the only thing we're really going to be able to confirm is, oh, yep, he was here and they took the hostages.
Yeah, we don't have the manpower. I think we'll just get ourselves killed if we stayed.
Okay. Unfortunate call, but I do think it is the safe and responsible one.
Is it possible that this is a cult that worships him?
You get to answer that question when you wake up.
Oh, sorry.
Wait, I think actually, Gwyn, let's see now. When did you crash out? Yeah, that's going to be in the evening anyway. Morgan and Gwyn wakes up in the evening when they've had a good solid sleep. So Blair and Hassill are in the driver's seat until then.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Harriet is wearing a skirt and high heels.
Yeah, no, she's wearing flat shoes, flat shoes.
Okay.
But yes, otherwise it's business casual. So it's very not wilderness adapted. She's uncomfortable. Definitely uncomfortable.
As unfortunate and potentially anticlimactic as it may be, I think it may be best to cut and run at this point.
Yeah, agreed.
So what do we do now? We have no other lead.
You get to ask that question in the evening when you wake up.
Why I keep forgetting I was supposed to be asleep. I'm sorry.
So does that mean that we're going to a motel room and just exfilling from this place?
I'm gonna lean on Blair for this one because she has the operational info. We're here for support, and if she has any other leads or anything she thinks is worth doing, that's fine. But I don't think throwing ourselves at least 7 commandos is gonna work out very well.
It's gonna work
I think
out
moving
wonderful.
to motel would be best for now.
Okay.
And sorry, we're Oregon or upstate California?
You're in upstate California right now. Yeah.
Okay.
Bear Flag Republic. I'm betting that Mr. Jaeger has put out the Bear Flag Republic banners here. So, yeah. It's one of these California should secede from the Union because the Union is run by the international jury, that sort of thing.
To be fair, at this point, I feel like they may as well if they're not going to help federal agents track down murderous terrorists.
Yeah. Maybe Horst Jaeger is a well-regarded member of the community in this area. Who knows? So, we're going to retire to a motel room somewhere not too far away. I'm guessing like an hour or two from the cabin. I don't know. Up to you. It can't be that far. There's going to be truck stops everywhere, right? And there you will find yourself a motel room. And eventually, we're going to have some people waking up. So, Zyra, why don't you roll a d6 to recover some willpower points? You're not feeling great, but you are awake.
About the best I can ask for.
Yeah. Zaina is almost completely rested. Look at her. Yeah, she needed...
Little power nap.
Yeah, it was definitely a good power nap. Of course, the almost completed rested part is mostly because she has so low willpower to begin with. But yeah, we're regrouping at a motel room in California on the Monday evening, and Zyra and Zaina will eventually wake up, and I guess you can have fast food, pizza supper in a motel room. How does that sound like? To discuss your options. Maybe this is the end of the op. Maybe not. It's up to you guys what you want to do. But now, Zyra has a chance to have an opinion because she's actually slept. I guess they will brief you on the situation with the cabin and the skinheads and Dwight, and no sign of Galt yet. For all you know, Galt might be there already, but... yeah, the diminished team is now slightly less diminished. You now have 5 operational agents. Woohoo!
Yay!
If you need Hank, if you're calling on Hank, he could be there in a while, but he's been arguing basically that this mess in Montana, do you know how much paperwork this is? I should really stay here to make sure that nothing bad leaks to the wrong people, and that everything is papered over properly and looks eco-terroristy and not The Walking Dead-y.
Yeah, that sounds fair.
He feels a little bit busy right now. That's what he's gonna say.
For what it is, I don't think we should order pizza or anything where we're giving anybody an address and a chance to knock on the door. At most, I can pick up some microwave burritos from the gas station and come back.
That you can do. We have Michael
Last thing I want is
you guys.
hey, what's this 6'3" blonde pizza guy doing outside? So yeah.
So yeah, Zyra, you have yourself a breakfast burrito for supper. So does Zaina. And you're presented with the situation. What is your opinion?
Sorry, that was my cat. My opinion is addition, but aside from that, we can't just leave him there. Our job is to destroy the unnatural, and I feel like we should be going after this guy because it seems way too connected. Yeah. We can't do nothing about it. You guys have said to yourself several times, we've got to track the unnatural and stop the unnatural.
Yeah.
But it also helps to not throw lives away doing so.
Yeah, and something tells me just storming the building isn't going to be a good idea, nor will it be a productive one.
Mathematically, if you think about it, like we discussed, the hostages that they took.
Zaina can just, with her military science skill, she'll just, it's a fortress. They have gun ports put in the walls. I don't know how powerful the walls are, but even if we had assault rifles, someone who puts gun ports in the walls, they're probably going to be prepared for a federal response, which includes making the walls thick enough to withstand assault rifle fire. We would need to get in there somehow, probably through the roof, maybe through the chimney, but even then, it's going to be one at a time getting in through the chimney while they're shooting at us, which is a terrible idea. I don't see... To get in there, we need serious SWAT response, we need grenades, we need tear gas, we need flashbangs. We don't have any of that stuff.
Why not? Yeah. We're responding to eco-terrorism.
Not here, we're not. That's in Montana. We haven't told the FBI that the eco-terrorists are now in California.
Why not?
Zaina said, that's a good question, and looks at all the rest of you because she's been out and sleeping in the forest.
The eco-terrorists have kidnapped an eco-reporter and are now holding him hostage.
We tried to activate the law enforcement by telling them that we were the feds. So we didn't really know how much a difference it would be to have another fed be like, oh, hey, instead of us be the ones called, because we are also federal agents.
We at least need
It didn't occur to us to be like, hey, let's call another federal agent to call on our behalf. In the moment, it made sense.
Harriet is sighing deeply. I would like people to do a human check for Harriet, please.
Oh, man, I bet I can pass this one. I did not.
I'm not blaming... Look, I hate Dwight as much as everyone else, but if we can avoid another person getting recruited to Delta Green, it's probably for the best. I guess just try to get everybody out before they get exposed to the unnatural or killed. And to get the equipment that we need, or more accurately, the people we need for a huge response like that, we will need federal help. And pretty sure they'll throw a bunch of money if we say, hey, we're responding to the eco-terrorists that blew up a plant just over in Montana.
But then
Harriet will ask, are they planning to blow up a plant here too? I don't think so. Like,
what's to prove they aren't?
But they were specifically going after the Sapphire compound in Montana, right?
The media doesn't know that.
No, but we do. So, I'm thinking here about what is the immediate public risk of pulling the plug on this op, given the state of this team. And she's gonna... Blair, you will have noticed with your human here that she has been looking at you with some concern.
Oh. Yeah.
Look. Z-Cell, and she looks at the three of you. You are all in a bad spot. And I'm not saying this to be judgmental. I'm saying this because I want you all to be safe and I want you to live to fight another day. We can all see how many bruises and how hurt Zaina is. And while Zanzaki are not hurt physically, I can tell, and she's now looking at Zaki, that you have been through some things and seen some things that you shouldn't have to see. Trying to do something rash like that, I agree. We are the thin green line. We are the ones who are supposed to stop the unnatural. You're absolutely right about that, Syra. But storming the cabin right now, a fortified cabin, I think there is a serious risk here of freezing, panics, overreaction, PTSD, various triggers. If we lose even one of us here, the team might collapse, not from physical exhaustion, but from mental exhaustion. And then it's no longer a matter of trying to stop the unnatural, and also we don't know that any of the people inside the cabin are doing anything unnatural right now, do we? They're doing horrible things to Dwight and Miss Fiona, but as far as we know, or suspect. But we don't know that there is any Sapphire in there.
To the best we know, they've got connections with Horst, who's a political extremist in the area. But outside of that potential connection to however he got in with Nuevas Fronteras, we don't presume he's doing any ritual sacrifice or anything in there. At least we don't have any reason to believe so at this time.
That's why I'm not saying that we need to go... Sorry, my cat is messing with the keyboard again. That's why I'm not saying we go in there. If we can get something like the FBI to send in an actual team that that is trained to respond to this, and we can just sit on the sides, that would probably work best.
Harriet
and we don't need
will nod.
We don't need to tell them that we are suspecting the supernatural. All we can say is that we suspect that this organization has ties to the group behind the explosion at the plant. And what do you know? Soon after the explosion at the plant, they kidnapped a journalist who was tied to the initial investigation of the plant that tipped them off that something was wrong.
Now, here's the big question. In a perfect world, FBI swoops in, is able to intercept Galt, save the hostages. What are they going to say when they have to write up a report about a Nazi vampire? And also, when they free one of those hostages, I'm sorry, this Dwight guy, he doesn't have any connection, personal information, reason to connect anybody here in this room involved with this case, right?
Shit, how did we actually meet Dwight? He was the assistant to the woman who the package was initially sent to. I forget her name, so we're just using Dwight as the emotional baggage here. So, just know when I'm talking about Dwight, I'm talking about both of them.
Right.
Yeah. So yes, they are connected to it. We can connect them pretty sturdily to this. You know,
Right,
the
but
group
I'm
of-
saying, can they connect us to the things that have gone on?
Us? I don't think so. No.
Then realistically,
gave-
what point? How much worth is it? Like,
Morrigan will just raise a very tired hand as she's drinking more coffee. At this point, she's basically injecting it, right? We did go to visit the Ecotopian once.
Yeah.
So Dwight has seen our faces. And haven't
Okay.
you been talking a lot with Dwight over the phone, Zyra?
He doesn't know my name. He knows a fake name.
Well, that's a good thing. So,
Yeah.
our faces, he has that. But not our names. Did we
Yes.
flash the badges? I don't remember.
No, we didn't.
No, I just asked him about his research. That was it.
Okay, so they have almost nothing to go on then.
Yes.
then it seems to me that outside of a courtesy, it doesn't really seem mathematically appropriate to risk our lives over saving two people that don't know anything. If they're not going to be worth anything to Galt informationally, realistically, how much good are they to us? What do they know about Galt that we don't know? What extra information can they give us versus what information can they put out in the public if they don't know anything? I just think we could just cut these ties.
If they're sacrificing 2 Galt, then that's two less souls that he gets for his shenanigans.
Realistically, if he's been doing this for 50 years, how much more is 2 meals going to set him back?
Yeah.
So, for us to get SWAT team in, says Harriet, we could do it through regular paperwork if we can connect this group plausibly to the eco-terrorists who attacked the ABC plant. It's not impossible. The operation in Montana right now is high priority, obviously. So we should be able to... It's not going to be easy, mind you, but there is a chance that we could call in SWAT officially. The problem with that, just so you're all aware, I don't know how much paperwork you've been doing in the FBI, but I've seen my fair share. She has a 60 in bureaucracy, just so Hassill knows. Even if we manage to get the SWAT team out here, we would need probable cause. We would need to be able to identify the suspects as dangerous and warranting this, and there will be an official review, whatever we do. Which means that we don't want to call in a regular SWAT team against a bunch of zombies. If we make a mistake here with the paperwork and it blows up in our faces, we would at least lose our badges, potentially end up in a federal penitentiary for wrongful use of federal force and so on and so forth. So those are the risks of getting a SWAT team through the official channels, and even then it's going to take a while. On the other hand, she says, these people have been kidnapped, and they were kidnapped less than 24 hours ago, so right about now, if people care about them, there will be civilians out in San Francisco who are starting to ask questions about where these people are, and depending on how quick they are to react, we could expect a missing persons report about them within anything from 3 hours to 3 days. I don't know how... I understand Fiona is very active with the Ectopian as the editor. I feel like they would react to her disappearance faster than Dwight's, maybe. Just looking at the profiles that they have. So.
Oh no, yeah.
So
Yeah, definitely.
she's probably going to be reported missing sooner than he is, which still might take another 12 hours. Who knows? It depends on how quickly people react in San Francisco and how quickly her friends or family feel like something bad has happened. After that, if the police treats it as a missing persons case, it's going to have a different level of priority than if it's a kidnapping case. If it's a kidnapping case, then we will get involved very quickly as the feds, and then we can channel that, and then if we want to connect that, then we could get the SWAT team out here that much faster. Do we want to get a SWAT team out here? I do not want to leave 2 civilians to the mercies of neo-Nazis, and particularly not... What did you call him again?
The vampire Nazi?
Oh, that one, yes. That one. Particularly not a vampire Nazi. But on the other hand, I also don't want a regular FBI SWAT team to be torn to shreds by a vampire Nazi. Because that is something we can't paper over easily. There's been too many witnesses already in Montana. And with that, she will just stand up and start walking back and forth and just... I hate this job. Whatever we choose, it can just blow up in our faces. There is no good choices here. Not a single good choice.
When there's not a good choice, I tend to defer to the safe choice.
I think you're also forgetting the fact that just killing Nazis is fun.
How many Nazis
The
have you
one-
killed? How many people have you killed?
Oh my
That-
god.
I'm not allowed to disclose that information. That was sealed in my juvie record. Anyway,
So you haven't even killed anybody recently then?
that is not for me to disclose. That is sealed in my juvie record. Anyway, I think what really needs to be considered also is that to us, if you really think about it. Wait, hold on. Why can't we just report that Dwight gave us a call saying he was being kidnapped and now nobody has seen him? What is stopping us from just saying, hey, this dude I've been talking to, I got a call saying he was getting kidnapped. We followed his instructions, went to the place, and he is kidnapped. What is stopping us?
We said that the first time and they said no thank you.
Yeah, that
Okay.
call got screwed up.
Okay, so I think just
Did we have the warrant from a federal judge? Says Harriet, and just looks at the floor a little bit. Or were we just cowboying it? Because I hadn't arrived here yet. I came a little bit later.
did we try to get a warrant?
We didn't try to get a warrant, but at this
We-
time,
Yeah, we got
If
the
you
call
wanna-
from Dwight and rushed over here and called the police along the way, but that was it.
Then now
This-
we should try to get a warrant.
this brings us back to the original point, though, and that if we send a SWAT team out there against a group of fortified neo-Nazis and potentially Nazi commando cultists, they're going to die under federal scrutiny, and one of us is going to lose our jobs. And I don't want to be mean, but the two of you that are the most advocating for this are the ones who are not going to be in the firefight and the ones who will not be filling out the paperwork.
Maybe it's just because I value human life over my own inconveniences.
Okay, what about the human life of several law enforcement officers and or federal agents who are going to die in a firefight?
It's not guaranteed that they're going to die in a firefight. It's much more guaranteed that people are going to die.
It's not guaranteed anybody's going to die in there. Maybe the Nazi vampires, hey, do you have any information about these guys? And he's, no. I'm a journalist. I don't know anything. And he's, cool, you're free to go. Thanks so much. Boom.
I'm sorry, I forgot that Nazis were so kind.
Okay, exactly. You see how unbelievable that is? Just about as unbelievable as nobody dying in a firefight against a group of Nazi commandos. Like,
they've sworn their lives to protect others, just as we have sworn ours to protect people.
The journalists swore their lives to protect others?
The journalists did not swear to protect others by getting kidnapped by neo-Nazis. And I think we're all forgetting, again, there are neo-Nazis that we have justification to brutally murder.
If it wasn't neo-Nazis, it was going to be the CIA one way or another.
We can, Harriet says,
CIA.
get a warrant for Horst Jaeger's arrest for kidnapping based on the phone call and the paperwork that Zaki did to link Jaeger to the kidnapping.
Sounds good, let's do that.
And that shouldn't take more than a couple of hours, given the time frame. And with that warrant, we could press gang the local sheriff into helping us. Which brings us back to Hassill's original question. Do we want to put regular police officers into harm's way?
I feel like either way people are going to be harmed.
It's going to be, I don't think anybody wants another Waco, right?
No, that's another thing.
It's a fortified position. These guys, think about it. The profile of these guys, she says, she uses the word profile because she is criminology. Yeah, okay, maybe her criminology isn't amazing, but anyway, she's a good therapist. Okay, she will ask instead this: what is the likelihood that the skinheads and Nazis in that cabin come out with their hands over their head and surrenders to the arrest from local authorities? Everybody roll criminology!
Ooh.
Yay.
Harry's criminology is actually terrible.
Yeah, everybody's is. Right,
Oh
it's the law, actually.
Why is... No, Zyra shouldn't have a minus 20. You rested, dang it.
Didn't one of these guys have a manifesto called "I will kill all federal agents on my doorstep"?
Basically, yeah, basically. I think that goes for local law enforcement too, to be honest. Because they're also under the control of international jury and so on and so forth. But, let's see now. Blair, you are the one who will, in fact, have a successful... I'm gonna roll for Morgan just for funsies. Yeah, that didn't work either. Blair will, in fact, be like, yeah, no, these guys will do a shootout until... It depends on the level of fanaticism, which is hard to say because you don't know anything about the regular skinheads. The regular skinheads might surrender from some shock and awe because they get scared, but as long as they're inside the cabin, led by their leader, their fearless leader, Jaeger, we'll have to assume he's the leader, for lack of a better person. We don't have any other names that could be leaders at this stage. They will probably fight on, and it's going to be a shootout, and it's going to be a Waco, which means that the local police would have to bring in a SWAT team, they would have to breach, they would have to bring the flashbangs, and they could probably do all that. It's possible. The risk for casualties, high. The chances of capturing some of these skinheads alive, pretty decent. The leader, maybe not. We don't know. But you can probably get all this done. So yeah, that's Zaki's assessment here. There's gonna be a shootout if you bring down the sheriff. And from that, it's anybody's guess how chaotic it gets. Will it get...
And just to be clear, too.
Will it get Waco levels bad? Maybe not. Hopefully not. But it's not gonna be easy either.
Here's some simple math on that. If there's 4 vehicles already there, and they had, we'll just say 2 people in each truck, and we'll just happen to say that the cabin was empty with nobody there by the time they got there. That's 8 dudes with who knows what kind of gear in the fortified position. If the commandos are already there, then that's 15 people. And I'm going to say that the commandos and Galt are definitely going to be worth at least 1 police officer apiece. From the fortified position, we could probably assume more than 2, because being
Zaina's
fortified
just,
definitely gives you an advantage.
Zaina's gonna be like, no, more like 5.
Yeah, so
Those guys
they're
are
going to need
elite.
about 60 police officers to show up out here. So if they can get that response rolling in an amount of time to intercept Galt, we should go ahead and try to file the paperwork. But I'll let you know. I think you've already kicked up a lot of dust in Montana, and I think it's going to get a little dusty over here in California too.
Delta Green doesn't
Do you
like
think-
dust, says Harriet, and just looks down on the floor.
Yeah.
Do you think we could at least get some sort of negotiations rolling? I'm not optimistic about it, but it's better than nothing.
With who and for what?
If we can at least decrease their numbers with the wavering in faith, then that's something.
So start a shootout with the Nazi commandos, and if things go in our favor, be like, hey, how'd you like them apples?
Now, I am saying, send me in with a bomb and say,
Oh my god.
hand over people, or I take all of you with me.
I'll be honest, I don't think that's a very good idea, but I really appreciate your gumption.
Why is that not a good idea? I hold all the cards in this situation.
Who's got a bomb here? I'm looking around. Who's got a bomb? Which one of you has a bomb?
Morgan can make one. Yep.
No.
Morgan. Oh.
Zaina
Morgan.
has used all her bombs. Yeah, I'd have to make one from scratch, she says.
It can't be that hard. There's probably a list somewhere of things you can make a bomb with.
I've made bombs before, I can make them again, but it takes a lot of time.
Okay.
And time is unfriendly to us right now, isn't it?
Yeah, we don't have the time for that.
Also, I don't want you to blow up, she says.
That makes one of us.
I also don't want that. It's just, you seem so confident with it.
I'm just saying, if we want a method that can have all of the cards in our hands, that's one of them.
Here's an alternative. They see you coming with a bomb and they shoot you before you get to the door because there's 30 meters of cleared brush into patrol.
Then we make one with a radius of 50 and you guys stand back a bit further.
Oh my gosh.
No.
Zaina's just looking at you. They have a fortified... It's basically a pillbox, Zaira. It's a pillbox. We can make a bomb with a radius of 50, and they'll just throw themselves on the ground and be safe while you're splintered into a million pieces of red mist.
Look, realistically, the best approach here would be if we had some sort of single-use disposable rocket launcher that we could shoot into the building from afar. But what are the odds that we would have one of those laying around?
Don't we
Yeah,
have
speaking
the
of
Navy
that.
on speed dial? First of all. Second of all, you just gotta fight crazy with crazy. That's the only way you can win.
I think we're more likely to get a SWAT team than a rocket launcher out here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With that being said, if that is the plan, we do need to start moving on it because we did already leave the cabin.
Yeah, we need to start acting.
I look outside and realize that it's now nighttime.
Yeah, you've already left the... You have no... Your latest intel is several hours old at this point, so anything could have happened over there.
Where's the nearest green box?
The one in
We
San
already-
Francisco that you've already looked in?
Yes.
Yeah, that's where you found the rocket launcher, which was one piece of rocket. There was no more rockets there.
Has there
Oh.
been another agency in the area that could have dropped some stuff off?
Possibly.
You're telling me out of all the friendlies Delta Green has, they don't have somebody that can sell a man a rocket launcher in LA?
The funny part here is that a rocket-propelled grenade launcher, an RPG, is actually a standard expense.
No way!
Oh my god.
Yeah. Get.
Seriously?
Yeah.
If this is something we want to do,
Yes.
This is a terrible idea, but
This is an amazing idea.
if it involves shooting a rocket, I'll co-sign.
shablamo.
Yes.
So there are several ways we can get this.
Oh, actually, wait a second. This is heavy weapons, right? I don't think we have anybody here that can use heavy weapons.
We have Morgan.
Zaina can use heavy weapons. Yeah, she has a good score. She has a 66 in heavy weapons. She can use those.
Okay, that's cool.
So if it,
So you can get an RPG through accelerated work here, which I guess is going to be Harriet's deal, right?
yes.
Within a few hours.
Okay. Bring
Which
me
is
that
the
rocket
same as
launcher.
the arrest warrant, as it turns out.
So we have an arrest warrant and a backup plan.
We can't do. No, we can't show up with a rocket launcher.
Why not?
They will arrest us. It's illegal to
Yeah.
have a rocket launcher.
We can't do both the police and the rocket launcher in the same plan.
Okay, so we stagger the arrest warrant to be 1 hour after the rocket launcher.
What if we're picking up the rocket launcher as the raid's going off, and then one way or another, we'll just have a rocket launcher.
Yeah, and if the blast is loud enough, the police will show up either way.
Harriet is gonna raise a finger in the air here. I hate to be that woman,
Oh no.
but a rocket launcher is... I don't know anything about rocket... Maybe Zaina can fill us in. Is that a precision weapon at all? Because if they keep the hostages behind the wall we're shooting at, don't we kill the hostages and the skinheads at the same time?
We leave them alone. We kill them either way. Besides,
Yeah,
close only counts in horseshoes. Or no, close. How's that phrase go?
And also rocket-propelled grenades.
Yeah, close only counts for horseshoes and hand grenades. Is that it?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. See?
No,
Oh,
I
fine.
don't really see. I'm still saying, if you want to rescue the hostages, Zyra, then shooting an RPG at the bunker is probably not the best idea, because you might just blow away the hostages together with the skinheads. It's much easier when it's just hostiles inside.
It seems that Zyra has put eliminating potential future threats over rescuing the hostages. And if that
Yeah.
is, if that's
Yes.
the way that we're leaning here, then we have some questions to answer about ourselves. But that is a way that we have to work things. We probably could have just caught
if
the
we-
cabin on fire at that point.
Yeah, if
Well,
we
that
have-
gives them time to escape.
If we have decided that we cannot, in fact, rescue the hostages in whatever way we try here, why don't we just take a step, as much as I hate it, take a step backwards? This is an international operation.
Yeah.
They're not even operating from the US. They're operating from, what was it, Uruguay?
Not me.
Yeah.
So, how long is this vampire even going to be in the US? We're going to have to launch some kind of international op, and I'm not saying the 5 of us, I'm saying Delta Green, to deal with this threat on foreign soil. I don't know. Maybe it's better to try to attack them on their home turf, because I'm willing to bet dollars to donuts that a German Nazi vampire in Uruguay doesn't make a home in the middle of the capital city. Probably, like a ranch somewhere, particularly if they're making zombies, right? It's not going to be is it going to be in the middle of the city, do you think? Maybe it is.
They would need, not unless they had some sort of compound or underground facility where you can do work like that without people seeing. But yeah, otherwise it's more than likely probably rural.
Wouldn't it be easier to attack them in a rural place? I don't know. This is so outside my competence profile.
I'll say that if you think the neo-Nazi cabin is fortified, imagine how the actual Nazi Uruguay headquarter ranch is going to be protected.
Yeah, it's going to be bad, isn't it? But
hear me out on this one. Every Nazi we kill now is the Nazi we don't have to fight later.
Dude, I don't want to be the one that has to fight a Uruguay in the first place.
Let A-Cell decide that, maybe, says Harriet.
That's like a G-Cell type thing. You let those guys deal with that type of stuff.
Yeah. Someone who is an expert at breaking and entering and killing people. Like Black Ops squad. That's what we need. We are not a Black Ops squad. And I appreciate that Zaina knows her way around guns. But the 5 of us are not Black Ops, are we?
No, but we're crazy enough to try.
There is a fine line,
That's
Zyra,
debatable.
between crazy enough to try and skilled enough to pull it off.
Yeah.
You have to be both. We have to have a Venn diagram here where we have both of those filled. Because otherwise, if we go in crazy enough to try without the skills to back it up, then all that happens is that you die in a red mist, they get away with it, and Delta Green has lost another agent. Delta Green has already lost 2 agents on this op so far. We can't afford to lose another. Do you know how few of us there are, Zyra? I think you know how few of us there are.
So if there's so few of us, then why aren't we taking the strategic chance to launch a rocket launcher at a house full of our enemies? We have the advantage. You heard Phallus say so himself. It's going to take 60 people if we take these people down the conventional way.
That's
the ghost of Phallus.
Sorry, no. I need to get used to your new name. I'm sorry.
Hassill.
Hassill. I almost said Harriet. I'm sorry. Him.
That's fair, says Harriet. If all we want to do is shoot a rocket launcher at the compound, that is something we could do. I'm not saying we can't do that. I know. What is the likelihood of that scenario playing out? Let's go. I am going to roll some military science lab here.
Ooh.
No.
Yeah, that didn't work at all. I tried. Zaina will just say impossible to tell, honestly, because we don't know the thickness of the walls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If it's a
It was
bunker
built up
made
against
out of
the mountain
concrete,
too,
it
right?
looks like it's made out of wood, she says. On the outside, it looked like log work, right? Cross log work, which is very standard for cabins. But we don't know what's behind those logs. It could be a full concrete foundation. It could be a full concrete wall. If that's the case, it does have a lot of armor-piercing damage. It's built to get through armor. That's what our RPGs are. So that is definitely the edge of having that sort of weapon in this particular case. But even if we do get through part of the wall, let's see. The damage would be, I'm looking at my notes here. Okay, so in game
lethality,
terms,
right?
she's gonna explain this in layman's terms, but obviously you want to know in game terms. The kill radius is about 10 meters. The lethality is 30%, which means that you roll, if you don't roll the lethality score, you roll 2d10, and it's gonna be like the 10s and the 1s together do the damage. So within that 10-meter radius, and that's not diameter, that's a radius, we can count on 30% casualties of the people inside, provided they don't have too thick walls. And that would be, if there are only 10 of them, then 7 of them will still be able to fight back, and there's going to be a big hole in the wall.
And I've got the scoped rifle, so I can engage targets out to 300 feet, which should be better than the range they have on us. But it's just a double barrel rifle, so I can only shoot every couple rounds before I gotta reload.
Very well, she says. I'll see if I can get her some heavy weapons. She's not going to argue anymore with the rocket-propelled grenade plan. Clearly, it's amazing.
Yes. Sorry, Morgan. You're
Very
gonna
sad that Morgan is
crit
not here.
fail the heavy
Yeah.
crit fail the heavy weapons check and explode when she's not here.
That would be bad. So, let's see. Do we want to do this through official priority requisition? Like official requisition, avoid scrutiny, calling in a favor? How do we want to do this?
If somebody is able to call in a favor, that might be the better way to do it. But I think avoiding scrutiny is a good fallback.
Yeah. So, let's see now. Drake and Hank are right now in a good position of... You're not going to be able to get any local support here, obviously. But we could get plus 20% to bureaucracy. I don't know how much Drake can pull, though. But yeah, okay, maybe you can get something done. Thanks to Drake and Hank being in the right position to pull this off. So I'll let Harriet roll with a plus 20 for that. And hopefully, look at that. It's a success. She is going to pull some threads, expedite it. What are some other things you might want to get here? Since we're talking about stuff. Do we want to get assault rifles?
May we get a second rocket launcher?
I think assault rifles are a good idea, but man, I know Morgan also doesn't have hand grenades. It would be nice to blow a hole in the side and just toss some tear gas or something in there, but
That is
without
not
a second, maybe have instead of a rocket launcher, get one of those grenade launchers and have one that fires a tear gas one as a secondary.
So we can have to do. I was looking at Kevlar vests is the same level of complexity to get. Hand grenades, incidental, so you can actually get them very easily indeed.
Yeah, it's just that none of us can actually use hand grenades because we don't have this specialty training.
Fair.
That was an issue we had last time.
Yep. You need to get special training, don't you? Let's see now. Grenade launcher, which is a heavy weapon skill, which is something that your friend Zayna can handle. That is a major expense, though. So that's going to be much harder to get your hold. Gonna hold off.
Yeah,
particularly
I'll hold off on that.
On an expedited.
Yeah.
So.
And realistically, I think just assault rifles and the rocket launcher. I mean,
That's gonna take days. Yeah, a rocket launcher and assault rifles you can get easily enough with what we've done here. So, I guess Drake is gonna send you something by probably midnight. So, a rocket. Okay, we're gonna give a rocket-propelled grenade launcher. Isn't that what we're talking about?
yes.
Yep.
So we'll give that to Morgan, right? And then assault rifles.
If the suppressors were too much to ask, I understand. But think about how cool
it
it is.
might be a little bit much to ask.
Okay.
Why isn't that listed here? I'm surprised. Should be AR listed in military flamethrower. Yeah, no, we're not gonna have access to that.
I think they're just under the regular firearm section for equipment.
So, who wants to have an assault rifle?
I do.
If you're just handing them out,
We are just
Yeah.
handing them out.
then yeah, I'll grab one.
Then I guess all of us.
Harriet is not a shooter type of person.
She can suppress fire.
I guess barely. And vests, of course. Reinforced, in fact, this time.
Ooh, very nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not just regular, but reinforced. I believe. Let's see now. Body armor.
It should be 4, I think.
Reinforced. Oh, it's actually an unusual expense. Okay, so forget it. Not
Oh.
reinforced. It's gonna be a regular Kevlar. This is all get us this thing stat and easily. We have reason to believe the kidnapping case, etc., etc., and that's how you do it, right?
Yeah.
Hassill, do you have the vest? Yes, you do. We'll put
Got one on already.
on her as well.
I'll say, ooh, send me a helmet instead.
Kevlar helmet is actually standard equipment, so you can get that too. Oh my god, you're gonna look like commandos. We're armoring up here.
We'll
in a
blend in.
serious way.
I'm afraid for my life. That's why I'm launching an assault in the middle of the night.
Yep. That makes sense to me. Yep, that's what we get there. Let's do hand grenade. Is incidental, but nobody could actually use it.
And then the biggest play of all is to bring a flare gun so that we can illuminate their defenses while we stay in the dark.
Ooh. Yeah, that could work.
Oh.
Someone has a flare gun. I don't actually have that on the list of equipment here, but it's gonna be incidental. You can buy a flare gun at a local shop, basically. All right, you're all armored up. Zyra is looking at herself in Kevlar vest, a helmet, assault rifle. It's 1998, so I guess it's gonna be some version of the M16, because I don't think that the later, like the rifles used in the 2000s have been quite introduced yet.
Not popularized, at least.
Yeah, and we're exactly.
Yeah, I wouldn't know. That's not exactly my area of expertise, or even my time of expertise.
When was that big shootout in California with the armored guys? That was like 99 or 2000, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So then, yeah, this would be right before all that.
Okay, AR-15 platform carbine. Yeah, often called CAR-15. So there you go. Okay then, I'm fine with that. So it's not M16 anymore. Look at that, it's all upgraded. You cannot get submachine guns because those are unusual expenses.
Now the rifles can be, they're like fully auto, right? So we can
Oh, yeah.
set them to burst.
Absolutely.
Nice.
Yeah, it's easier to get your hands on assault rifles in law enforcement than it is submachine guns if you're not SWAT. All right. Are we doing a midnight assault on the cabin then?
You've talked me into it.
Oh, this is gonna go horribly.
I knew you'd see my side.
Really, you just had to talk Harriet into it. I was just the devil's advocate.
Harriet is not happy about this either, but, you know, if we have to do it, we have to do it.
And send some clothes, top shoes for Harriet, please.
Yeah, now she has proper clothes. She has like camo and everything, so yeah, it's gonna be nighttime. Though I have a feeling there will be some pretty powerful lights just lighting up in front of the cabin, because of course they do. Around the cabin, that 30 radius there around the cabin, it's still lit up. When you get back there and start getting yourselves into position, you will notice that there's no change in the scenery at all. It's still the same 3 vehicles as before, and that's about it. Now the question is, how are we all gonna get there? For absolutely no reason, I am going to present you with, and we have Harriet too. Poor Harriet. Is this where she will die? You don't care that much, do you, Gwyn?
No, I just want to blow up some Nazis.
I probably still shouldn't say anything, but it was very bold of you to assume that Hassill has the opportunity to join Z-Cell yet.
Maybe it was bold of me. I am not going to contest that at all.
I get nervous on these raids, y'all.
Oh, God.
That's better. Okay, so since it's a nighttime raid, I need to prep the map for this.
What's the range on this rocket launcher again?
It's 200 meters.
Very nice.
So plenty.
Yes.
Alright, so nighttime at Jaeger's cabin, and you have to get yourself close enough to do some damage. Though you do have a rocket launcher, and you are well within range of using the rocket launcher.
Yes.
Actually,
The
scale here
solution
is
to our
slightly
proximity
off.
problem.
The
Sorry.
scale here is slightly off, so let me amend that. Really? Oh, that makes more sense.
Yeah.
Let's see.
The solution to our proximity problem seems quite easy.
Maybe, just a little bit.
Could
Yeah,
I?
maybe 200 meters a little bit.
Yeah, rifles work within 100 meters, so it's still not even lit up anywhere from here to there, right? Because you said it's only lit up in that first little 30-meter area.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay. And yeah. Use the cover of night to approach. Do we get a bonus for that?
Yeah, actually, because beyond the lights, it's going to be very hard to see you guys. I'm going to give you plus 40 to the stealth.
Neat. Can I use my survival again since we in the woods?
Alright, I'm nice today.
I noticed. Thank you so much.
No, you all blew up because someone.
Oh no!
That's not what happened. That went well.
Sneaky breaky.
I can see that
Wasn't it
Hassill
a
is
plus 4?
doing well on his work here. Everybody else, let's see.
So sneaky.
You have lost me in the darkness.
She's
I am a cryptid now, and I am lost in the woods.
You are a cryptid who is lost in the woods.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Morrigan. No, I forgot to apply her plus 40, so she's fine.
Whew, same with Hassill.
Blair and Gwyn are just gone. Oh, Hassill didn't use the... Yeah, you should use your plus 40. You didn't do that, so
Yeah.
you're actually succeeding.
Forgot to apply it.
Alright, so... It looks to me like everybody's succeeding, doesn't it?
Yep.
Yeah. And so once I'm
Hassill
in
might
position,
just Harriet might just hang back because as much as she would like to, she is not the stealthy person, so she's gonna hang back.
in
She's
that
support.
case,
She's fire support.
I will let her use my rifle with the scope on it. Essentially, as long as she takes an action to aim every other round, she'll have a plus 20 and won't take any minuses for shooting out to the 300 feet, the 300 meters.
Very well. That's the heavy rifle, isn't it?
It's the heavy rifle.
So you are not gonna have a heavy rifle.
I'll tell her. I'll say, don't drop this, Harriet.
All right, she says. She's gonna lie there, and she doesn't have a clean line of sight on everything, but if she puts herself over here, she will have a very decent line of sight on most of the cabin.
Cool.
All right, the rest of you have succeeded with your stealth checks, haven't you?
Yep.
So we are moving closer to the objective. So far, so good. Nobody has seen you. I can even bring you up right to the edge if you want.
I think 100 meters is probably a
Yeah,
little
I
better
don't think.
because that's our rifle range.
Yeah.
Oh, you want to
Yeah.
be at 100
Yes.
meters away?
Maybe a little bit, maybe 80 meters, just so we got a little bit of extra,
I mean,
some room to wiggle.
you are currently
Yeah.
at 70, 80 meters. Yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
that's cool with me then.
Is this the formation you want to have, or do you want to pan out across the map a little bit?
Yeah, we should probably spread out.
Bunch
Yeah.
out completely.
Yeah.
It's probably good if we do intersecting lines of fire at 90-degree angles. That way there's no risk of us shooting into each other, and they have to aim different directions.
Morrigan over there,
Yep.
so you don't know if she dies or not. Hee hee.
Nice.
And Gwyn over there. Where do I put... If Blair is here, Hassill gonna be there then? Now we have a decent approach from multiple directions, don't we?
I like it.
Yeah.
And sorry, is the hill to the south? I can't quite tell.
Oh yeah, there's definitely a hill to the south. It's
Okay.
This cabin is basically just right up against the mountain wall. You don't know how it's... You can tell that the wall meets the mountain. So
Okay.
a portion of the cabin could conceivably... Either the mountain functions as the back wall of the cabin, or the cabin is actually inserted into the mountainside.
Okay.
But since Talbot is not with us, we don't have anyone with architecture who can tell. You didn't think you would have use for that, did you?
That's a cool one.
I
like that.
used that multiple times.
Yeah.
You did.
I thought it was very useful.
Not a demolitions character, I bet.
Yeah. Yeah, I think maybe I'll just make Talbot too.
Oh no.
Talbot.
Dalbot.
Yeah. Assuming Sarah Gwynn dies here. Don't know why I said her full name. But if she dies, I want you to know I'm rolling up next week with Dalbot.
Dalbot.
Yes.
Phallus would have loved this.
Who?
Phallus.
Phallus. Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah.
Alright, so basically, because it seems like your opponents are completely unaware of what you're doing here, you will have an attack roll at +20.
Oh.
Any success is a critical hit.
Nice.
That's how
Yay.
surprise attacks works. And for some reason... No, wait. We've given the rocket launcher to Morrigan. Okay, so, but do we want her to... You know what, Hassill? I think I'm going to exchange you for Morrigan.
Okay.
Because then she can attack the cabin from like straight from the front with a rocket launcher, and then you can go in from the side. How about
I
that?
like it.
Because that makes more sense. All right, are we ready to do something here?
Yeah.
I'm gonna say that
Yeah.
you all, because it's a surprise attack, you are going to get a full turn here of whatever you want to do. And we will roll Morrigan's heavy weapons with a +20. And I guess the target is pretty large as well, so +40 in total. Because he's literally shooting at a house.
You can hit the broadside of a barn, literally.
Literally.
How?
I'm very sorry.
It's 1 point. Oh, come on.
So that blows
You
the
missed.
surprise completely. She's just, and then she wobbles just as she fires the rocket, and she probably flinched when she pulled the trigger a little bit too hard. And this is the price you pay for having me roll for things here. And it's gonna go right next to the cabin, but not at the cabin, and just impact really hard on the mountain wall and go kaboom! And that's gonna wake everyone up, I think. But you all get to act before that because they are not aware of the attack yet. So I'm gonna just put everybody in the initiative order here, and I think Cal will have to reload. Morgan will have to reload the rocket launcher.
Okay, so if we've got another charge in the rocket launcher, then I'll probably just aim at the house and
Yeah.
not get any closer to it.
Very well. So, yeah. Whoosh! Boom! Huge explosion. I wish I could make a huge explosion right there. But I can't. I don't have the tools for that at the moment. And Blair, you can act. How might you want to act now?
How did I end up first in initiative?
That's your dexterity.
Okay, I'm just gonna take aim for this.
Very well. You can
Yeah.
absolutely do that. Harriet is actually on a different. There we go. Slightly faster. Okay, Blair's taking aim. Morgan has fighter shot. Hassel, what do you want to do, if anything?
I can't see any targets right now.
Nope. Nope. You heard the blast. You saw the flash of something reaching out with smoke, like a finger of smoke against the cabin. You heard the boom, but it was on the side of the cabin and not on the cabin. You can see these trucks here, and that's it.
Okay. Then yeah, I'm going to take this turn to aim so that next round after Morgan hopefully gets a successful shot off. Look at the +20 to hit.
Very well. Harriet is also aiming because that's what she's been told to do. And Gwen, what are you doing?
Until we get a successful shot, or I see something move in the window, I am staying, taking aim.
Very well. Okay. This means that I get to add combatants to our little list of
No.
folks here. Because they have now been alerted to your presence, haven't they?
No, they get to go back to
Unfortunately.
sleep.
Dude, I can't believe that actually happened. 92.
Did
That was
1
an
point
amazing
off.
roll, and I'll hear no other. I'll hear nothing else. Yeah. So, how long does it take to reload one of those things?
You would think it would just be around. You just slide the thing down in the tube.
I would think
Yeah.
so, but I've never used one in real life, so I have no idea. Okay, yeah, let's just do that. She's gonna plug another in, And fired again. No surprise this time, obviously. You know what? I think the blast wave cut one of the lights out. That's it. You managed to shatter a light bulb. Yay.
Yay.
It's still a house, though, so it's still pretty big. This time, it's a success.
Nice.
Yeah, we're gonna put out that light as well, and that light, and that light. In fact, kill radius. Let's go. It's gonna hit this wall, or this... somewhere around here. 10 meters. 10-meter kill radius. Let's just say if we get a kill or not. That is not a kill, but it is a lot of damage on someone. 8 points. Boom! Alright. And yeah, that's gonna blow a hole in something, isn't it? I guess I have to amend the wall now a little bit. Just a little
Put a hole in it.
Yeah.
Blair, you're up.
I'm assuming there's nobody seen yet, right?
In the dark, can you see anything or anyone? That is a good question. You can see possibly shapes. Let's see. You can see a silhouette right
We're shooting
here.
at shapes.
Huh?
You can see a silhouette in there, yes. Someone.
Okay.
Someone on the ground trying to move ever so slightly. You're gonna have... You have a... Let's see now. You have... First of all, you have some modifiers here because you have, in fact... You've taken one turn to aim, right?
Yeah.
And you have base range, so that's fine. It's bad visibility because of darkness, so that loses you your aiming bonus. So the target is also hard to see behind some cover and whatnot. I'm gonna set you to minus 40, actually. Good after aiming.
Okay.
And you get to decide here if you want to do single shot or burst.
I think for now, I'm just gonna do single shot. Mostly because we can't see anybody clearly. Plus, it's unlikely I'm gonna hit this anyway.
Believe in yourself. I believe in you.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Oh, jeez.
That is a miss.
Yeah, it's only a 7.
Brum!
That's fair.
Yeah, you
wasn't
pull the
gonna-
trigger. It's dark. It's hard to see. There's a lot of smoke, obviously, because Morgan just fired a freaking rocket-propelled grenade in there. You can see the bullets maybe impacting on the walls. And let's just say that we haven't used standard operating procedure for the FBI with a bullhorn, and you have a chance to come out, and you know these are your rights. You're just straight in murdering these people. There might be a review on this later on, but may not. Hassill, what do you want to do?
I am going to actually shoot the flare gun inside the hole to illuminate the room.
Ah! I would ask you to roll a firearms check.
Do I get my plus 20 for aiming?
Yes, please.
Okay, very nice, very nice.
On the other hand, you get a minus 20 for the darkness, so
No.
it's still even.
Okay, then just roll regular.
Yep.
I believe in myself.
Leave!
Yay.
We have a flare that is going to land through the... You wanted to get into the building, right? Because that makes sense to me. So, you are here, and that's the hole. So it's going to land somewhere around there. So I'm gonna put down a flare around here. And since it's a flare, it's gonna be a little bit like that. What color is the flare? Do we know?
They're normally a reddish orange
Aren't
when
they?
you buy them from Walmart.
Yeah. So there you go. Flare. You can see a guy in there.
Oh,
Speaking of a guy. Yeah, this guy, he was prone because he was literally thrown to the ground by the explosion. He's gonna stand up, and I don't know, there's the flare lying next to him. I think he's gonna rush up to the wall here, and he wants to take a shot at something, but right now he's lovely. The silhouette is great, right? I don't think he's seen where the flare came from. I guess that's what he wants to take a shot at. That makes the most sense, doesn't it? So he's going to be on this side, actually, and try to take a shot towards you, Hassill. But this turn, I think he's just going to try to see you out there in the dark, and I'm going to give him a -20 because, let's face it, the light conditions are not ideal. So he can't see anything right now.
nice.
Yeah.
Harriet can see him. Like, I guess she's going to shoot him in cold blood then.
Thank you, Harriet.
Harriet will never be the same. Poor Harriet. She did not want to do this at all.
Yeah.
She can roll herself a psychotherapy. She'll be alright.
Yeah. So she's gonna have a +20 for aiming, another +20 for the flare, and then a -20 for the cover. Actually, it's more than -20 for the cover, I think. -40 actually. So it's gonna be ±0 at the end of the day. But she's trying.
I believe in her.
Yeah.
Bam! That's a loud crack. And it's gonna strike the wall really hard. I think Morgan will be able to draw some conclusions about this wall now. What is the typical damage of... She's not gonna even hit that guy right now.
It is a D12 +2.
That's a lot.
And it has armor piercing 5 normally.
Okay, this guy is lying down. He just cannot help himself. He's gonna lie down. Because he's under fire and it's very scary.
So he's a stationary
pinned
target,
man.
you say?
What was that?
So he's a stationary target, you say?
Yes, but he's also lying. Okay, we're gonna have some others here. They're trying to see you in the darkness. There's a second story as well,
What was that?
just so you know.
Oh, right.
Yeah. This guy over there. Can he see anything? Where the fuck are they? You hear a lot of screaming in there.
You're dreaming. Go back to sleep.
Everybody's trying to find out where you are, basically. And so far, they've been terrible. Gwyn, what do you want to do, Slowpoke?
I would like to shoot. I have been taking
Yeah.
aim for the past 2 rounds.
Yeah, it's just a full turn, so you don't get any more than that. So it's +20.
Yes.
There's good light now, thanks to the flare.
Yeah.
But the target is mostly covered. Yeah, so it's a -40, so you have -20 in total.
Sorry. Okay.
Also, who are you planning to shoot at? I'm looking at you here, and the only one you might have seen some movement around here-ish, but yeah, you don't have a good shot at anyone particularly right now. There's a lot of shrapnel from glass that just covers the ground in front of the building, and probably inside it too, from the blast that just blew stuff. Including, I would think, doors, right?
Yes.
One would think so.
Yeah.
At least one of them.
Any glasses on the nightstand? Toppled.
Exactly. Quinn, what do you want to do?
Can I see their trucks? Can I fire at the tires of their trucks?
Absolutely, the trucks are right here.
Yep, you're not getting away.
All right. That is what we commonly call a cold shot, because aiming at a particular thing. So that's going to be a -20. On the other hand, the target is decently sized. You're firing at the tires. So, okay, -20, but +20 for having aim. So there you go, plus minus, nothing. Roll, go ahead.
Ooh, big burst.
Okay.
Ooh.
You have destroyed a bunch of tires. That truck is not going anywhere. You can just see the tires explode as your rounds just slam home, shredding the tires completely.
You're stuck with me now, buckaroo.
This is just because Gwyn has a murder boner, right?
Yes, specifically reserved for Nazis.
Hey, these guys are white supremacist neo-nationalists.
They have constitutional rights, same as everyone else.
I don't think Gwyn believes that.
Then she's a
fact,
terrible law enforcement officer.
I'm just spitballing right now. I think there might be some murder in her sealed juvie record, specifically for beating a kid who was wearing a Confederate flag.
Oh my god.
Just spitballing off the top of my head.
How would
That-
she have joined the FBI? That makes
Great
no
question.
sense.
I'm just running with the weird stuff that comes out of my head at this point.
Yeah, I think that is not something that would, clear FBI scrutiny. Anyway,
Yeah, fair.
since if nobody tells, then who's gonna accuse you? You can always tell that they
Yeah.
fired first or something. Blair,
That kid
what do you want to
definitely
do,
fell down the stairs.
if anything?
I think I'm just gonna take aim again.
All right. Morrigan is gonna plop down another round and shoot at the upper floor.
Nice.
That's gonna be. She's not aiming. It's a big target. It's dark. Plus minus. Here we go.
Oh!
I think the
Oh
upper
my
floor was just
God.
obliterated. Maximum prejudice. Absolutely maximum prejudice. Boom! Okay, what did we say about killing enemies in cold blood in terms of sanity? Show.
They started it.
They
It's
did
fine
not.
if it's-
They patently did not start it.
They
You
kidnapped our
definitely
friend.
started it.
It's fine if they're Nazis.
No.
That's what we said.
Humans are humans.
No, I don't see Nazis as humans.
That is a
Surely
problem.
Morgan did
then.
not do
Kill a
violence.
murderous enemy in cold blood. Okay, she doesn't. She inflicting violence. She has already checked off all her violence checks, so she doesn't actually suffer from that. I have a feeling there's going to be a lot of damage on the upper floor. I don't think the upper floor is going to be a problem anymore, guys. Morrigan's already done. Hassill, what do you want to do? You fired flare. You hear a lot of, what the fuck is going on? They're used to police coming up with bullhorns and sirens, and here you were just doing Black Ops stuff on them.
And I don't still have a sight on anybody?
Nope. The trucks are going to block your view.
Okay. How many rounds would it take me to get to a vantage point on the hill?
On the hill? Yeah, that's going to take a while. You'd have to go around and up on the hill. At least 2 or 3 turns, probably.
Okay. I probably
You
shouldn't
can
do
run
that.
30 yards per round. Yeah, that's gonna be 3 rounds just to get to the wall, to the hillside, and then...
Okay.
You know.
In that case, I would like to take cover behind this truck.
Yeah,
And see if I have a better firing position from that angle.
that would make sense, wouldn't it? So, get you over there. Well, maybe something look more like... Yeah, anyway, so... Technically, you're gonna get... 1, 2, 3. So, somewhere in the woods there. Still covered by various trucks.
Okay.
Who are running.
Then yeah, if that's all I can do, that's all I'll do.
Yep. What the fuck is going on here? It's just explosions, man!
If possible, I'll at least reload the flare gun along the way.
Nope. You're legging it as hard as you possibly can.
Got it.
Where are these assholes? Sorry. Where are these assholes? The fuck is going on? Yeah, can't see you yet. Harriet is up, in fact. Okay, I guess she will... No, she's taking a turn to aim, because that's what you've told her to.
Because you told me to!
Because you told me to, exactly. Them's the orders.
Oh my god.
So close! But not close enough.
Woohoo!
Will any of them ever get an eye on you? Yes! I see them! It's over there! No, wait, these guys are dead.
I love hearing that.
Yay.
That one is dead. Yeah, because they were on the upper floor, and the upper floor just exploded. So, they're dead. Okay, so...
Take that, California skinhead.
Yeah, nope. We don't have anyone who can see nothing around here. It's just hard to see with the flares and everything going on. Oh my god, that's a critical failure of this guy.
Permanently blind. Crazy.
Gains false information. Believes that one of the friends is a bad guy. Turns and shoots. I thought it was you! You're gonna hear shots from inside the cabin. Shit, they're here, man! Okay.
Oh.
That's the second fumble in a row. What the fuck is going on? Click. Gwen, you're up. You hear the screaming from inside the cabin.
Yay! Do I have a clear shot at any of them?
Let's see. Who might you have a clear shot on? Given the wall situation and everything. Nope, not clear shot. You don't have a clear shot on anyone right now. You haven't moved enough.
I'll take aim then.
Very well. Blair! How many rounds did we bring to that thing? Apparently it was more than one. We fired 3.
Do I have a clear shot of anybody or no?
Did you have a clear shot on nobody really. You know there's a guy behind the corner there. It's going to be a -40, so -20 in total.
I'll take my chances on that.
All right.
So minus.
Because you took a turn at aiming, right?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. Okay. If that's how it's going to be.
Okay, she a real shooter, I see.
Yeah. Okay. Why don't you roll lethality? Maybe you're just gonna kill him right off. Right up. Right down. You didn't kill him immediately. Or did you?
Means 9 damage.
She's adapted to violence, so she can do this, and she feels nothing inside. As, yeah, is it a single shot? Or, I guess it's a single shot.
Yeah.
Blair, your Hippocratic Oath.
Whoever that was.
That was broken long ago.
You take a shot, you shoot at something that is sticking up their heads, and then there's a bit of a dust flying, and you're not sure, was that some... It's a critical success. That does double damage, doesn't it? So it's 18 points of damage.
Oh
Oh.
my gosh.
So I have a feeling the guy is down. Most likely the guy is dead.
Yeah.
Most likely.
Dude, bring out the Nazi. I'm not even scared at this point.
Alright. Morrigan is going to... Well, she's hard to see things in there, but... Okay. She's going to put aside the RPG, because I'm going to say that she don't have no more weapons for that one. No more rounds for that one. Okay, she's going to take a turn aiming. Let's go. Hassill.
Hello, it's me, Hassel. Am I able to get to that firing position and take a shot, or should I just do a full move?
You will have to do a full move. Yeah.
Okay. In that case, I'm just going to go ahead. In that case, let me see. I'm going to go ahead and just make my way closer.
Okay. So not pro.
Yeah, just go ahead and give me a
So
full
you can
move
get
closer to the
a full
cabin.
move. Yeah, you can get there basically, which
Cool,
puts you
sick.
behind a truck, barely.
Good deal.
But I think someone just nailed the guy who could have shot you, so you know we're good.
Nice.
All right, Harriet. She's going to try to fire on something in there. She has taken a turn, set up her shot. That gives her a +20. -40 for all the cover. Gives us a net -20. But she tries. Bam! You're gonna hear the sound of the bolt action as she's gonna reload. Obviously. Alright, so... It's been going swimmingly for them, right? Just great. Just great. What the hell you doing, you fool? Okay, move over here. And that's as far as we get this turn. Can we see anything yet? Gwen, you're up.
I'm Gwen.
Oh, they're muted.
Yep, there is something there. Again, it's a -40 for angle and everything. They don't even have a reason to believe that you're feds, because you just went in there to kill. That's not what feds do. You must be a rival gang or something, obviously.
I can't hear Gwen. Am I having audio problems?
No, they're muted.
Oh.
Ah, that would be why.
That would
Wait,
be
hold
why.
on. Hold on, wait. Okay, I was really confused because I said something and then somebody responded and I was like, oh yeah, they can hear me. Sorry, I realized I had also done the signal thing at the same time, so that was probably it. Anyway, so if it's a so if it's a plus 20 with the aiming, and was it plus 20 for the darks, then that would just be a straight roll, right?
No, it's a plus 20 for the aiming, minus 40. There's no problem with the dark because of the flare.
Okay.
But it's minus 40 because of all the cover and stuff between you and your target. So it's a net minus 20.
Okay.
You're just pouring it in there, aren't you?
Yes.
But you are missing! Hits everywhere on the building. You can see the shrapnel, the splinters from the woods just absolutely in a cloud around the building. As Gwyn is just pumping lead. Eat lead, Nazi scum, right? Blair.
Yeah, I'm able to see this guy.
Yep.
Okay. Oh, wait. I didn't take aim.
No, you didn't.
I'm just gonna aim this round.
Alright. Morrigan. We're just gonna fire at the same person as you did. Nobody cares about aiming, right? Did she aim last turn? I think she aimed last turn, so...
Morgan did aim last turn, yeah.
So she has a minus
Yeah.
20 to hit. And she rolls as well as it can be expected when I'm rolling for her. Which is 10. More shots downrange. Hassill, you're getting closer to the actual building.
Hello, it's me, Hassel. I can see that guy from here.
You can see one guy definitely dead, lying down, head blown apart. Ooh, that's a grisly sight, isn't it? You're coming upon a mangled corpse, and you are not adapted to violence yet, are you? Roll a
Not
sanity.
yet.
You're fine. So what do you want to do?
I've been hearing voices asking if they can see anybody. They
Yep.
obviously don't sound like they're from the top floor, right?
That seems correct, yes.
Is anyone responding, or does it just sound like one voice at this point?
Alertness check, please. And that's going to take your turn. Okay, there is more than one person in that house. But it doesn't sound like it's a dozen. It's more half a dozen, possibly. 2 or 3, maybe. You don't know. Hard to tell. In the confusion of battle and with all the shots ringing out. It's not a formidable force. It's not 20 people inside there waiting for you.
Okay, then yeah, if that's all I can do, I just hold the angle.
Is aiming. Will they finally be able to see you? Nope.
Nope.
You can see someone move inside the house there, Hassel, from your vantage point. Like, across here, there was movement deeper into the building. Like, silhouettes of people moving there.
Okay.
They still haven't been able to see you, which is sad. Gwyn, what do you want to do? Aside from shooting a Nazi. They haven't even fired a single shot at
Sorry.
you guys yet.
Yeah, I realized I had muted myself on my end again.
Why did you do
Look, I'm not the brightest anything anywhere, okay? I think I would like to take aim again so I
Alright.
can actually have a positive score.
That makes sense.
Thank
Blair, you aimed last turn, didn't you?
Yep.
Yeah, there's someone here. You've seen that much.
Yeah, I'm firing.
It actually should be here, because they're like behind like one of these. No, wait, that's not where they can be, because that was blown out. They're behind this wall here, yeah. This wall there. Yeah,
Yeah.
okay, so minus 40 plus 20, so it's a minus 20 in total.
Yep.
Blair is
Oh
our
my God.
regular
Jeez, Blair.
sharpshooter here. Bum. Okay, roll the lethality. Let's see if you just kill him outright or not. I mean, not bad.
One more than last time.
Yeah. You will hear a scream from inside. Ah! You hit something.
Yay.
Morgan is going to take a shot at the same people. Because why not? And just absolutely miss. There's just shots going wide everywhere. And Hassill, you can hear a couple of the rounds passing a little bit uncomfortably close to your ear, honestly. Hassill, you're up.
Okay, and I could tell that Blair was shooting at somebody right around here,
Yep.
and I don't have line of sight on them.
No, they're behind a wall.
How does kill radius work? So if can I do a burst in the area? Does it still have to pass through the wall?
It would have to pass through the wall. Killer, if you could throw an explosive in, then the explosive could take care of the people around the wall, right? But normally, if you have several enemies that are caught in the open, then you can use bursts to hit more than one person and get a kill radius.
Okay. In that case, I would like to get on my belly and just roll out 10 or 15 feet to try and get a better angle clear out.
Yep, that's gonna give you. You're gonna
Sure,
end
so.
up here basically, but you're also gonna end up prone.
Okay. That's me. That's me.
Yeah, if you want to take aim, you can do that. You can see the gun port right here.
Okay. Then yeah, I'll go ahead and take aim on the gun port. It seems to be occupied.
There's been a lot of fire coming in there, yeah. Harriet did take aim last turn, so I guess she's gonna try to fire at the gun port again. I told you she's not the best at this whole thing. But that was a close one. Maybe he will actually finally see you now. No, he will not, because he's blinded by the flare. Where are these guys? Where are the assholes? He's just gonna pull the trigger. He has a pistol, an automatic pistol, and he's just shooting randomly out. Bang. It's just random shots here and there. That's all it is. I can't see them, man! Who are these guys? Is this some kind of fucking cartel shit? There they are! Okay, who can this guy see? He must have seen... He doesn't have line of sight on Hassill. Not quite. He doesn't have line of sight on Morgan.
Harriet.
Not Harriet either. He has line of sight on Blair. That's the only person he has line of sight on. And Blair is ridiculously far away for a pistol. Because a pistol has a range of 15. But he's also a bit panicked. Let's just shoot some rounds that way and see if we can hit something. Not at all. Blair, you can see muzzle flashes from over here. Someone is shooting there. Piff, pack. It's just pistol shots. Blair, you're up. No, Gwyn is up. Sorry. Gwyn, you were
I was
aiming.
kind of confused, but I was just kind of rolling for it. Yeah, I am. I would like to fire.
Who are we firing at?
This one.
Okay, go ahead.
Thank you. Negative 20 again?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Ba-bam. This is the Wild West, my friends. We're definitely cowboying this.
Can I add a checkpoint to the thingy?
To your firearms? Absolutely.
Thank you.
Blair, did you aim last turn? I think you aimed last turn.
No, last turn I fired.
Okay, so this turn you were aiming.
Yeah.
So this turn, Morgan is also aiming. Hassill, you have aimed. You want to shoot something?
Yeah, did you say that I had a target on an occupied?
Yep. It's a minus 40, so minus 20 net because you aimed.
Okay. Then yeah, I will go ahead and fire on him with the minus 20. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. I'm sorry. Oh, it did it a second time. None of those counted. All right, I am doing it with the minus 20.
What's going on? What is happening?
Okay, there we go. It's an official fail now.
It's an official fail now. Okay. Okay, that just calls you to their attention, doesn't it? Because you're right there. So they're gonna fire right back. Unfortunately, you're like twice the range of their tools here, and they can't see you very clearly. So it's gonna be a minus 40. Shots fired in your general direction. Shots missed, but it was shots fired. So I'm gonna say that since you're taking fire, you're not ambushed though. So
Knew what I was getting into.
yeah, you knew what you were getting into.
I'm prone, near cover, armored, moisturized, unbothered.
Exactly. Alright, we'll have another shot at Blair, because it's the only one that this person can see. Yeah, there are some bullets whizzing around in the world. None of them is gonna hit Blair right now, because we have ourselves another fumble. I'm gonna say it's gonna be like a jammed round in the pistol, so... Gwyn, go ahead. Aiming again?
Yes.
Blair! Have you aimed? Are you going to kill something?
Yep. Is there anyone I can see?
You can only tell from that there's a guy behind this wall here because you've seen the muzzle flashes. He's been bang out behind the wall, the hand is sticking out, and you can try to shoot. He's been shooting in your general direction, but the bullets have gone. Who knows where?
Yeah.
You haven't even
minus
done it,
20.
Yeah,
right?
minus 20, exactly. Are we gonna get another Blair shot here? Yeah, we sure are! Blair is gonna take out all these guys on her
Jeez.
own.
Majored in anatomy for sure.
Oh my god, how do I get it?
Yeah. Well,
Yep.
let's just say that someone has just seen their friend die horribly. Twice. And also those friends upstairs. Let's not forget. That's 2d6 sanity loss. Okay, apparently not enough for this guy to actually go into freezing mode. But you're gonna hear like, don't shoot! Don't shoot, man! Shit! And you're gonna see someone toss the pistol out of like a door and just lie down. I give up, man! I give up! Don't shoot! Fuck! Fuck! Jaeger, where the fuck are you, man? Shit! That's what you're gonna hear. So now comes the question. Would Morrigan keep shooting?
Yes.
Yes.
Knowing Morgan, I believe so.
Yeah,
I guess
it would
that
be
makes
in
sense.
character.
She doesn't have line of sight. She's gonna run as fast as she can to get to line of sight. Hassill.
I'll do it. I'll shoot.
You're gonna shoot an unarmed guy?
He was just shooting at me. He's only unarmed because we killed his friends.
This is murder in
And-
cold blood. Okay.
That's his. Roll sanity on that.
Kill a murderous enemy. I don't even know if it's a... yeah, sanity check absolutely for you to shoot this, to shoot and kill him. If you actually manage to kill him. And that's a success. So apparently you have absolutely gonna have no PTSD over this.
Don't want him calling out because we know there's at least one person in there unaccounted for.
Yep. Did you hit with your shooting?
Yeah, I did hit him with. He's a surrendered target. Do I have to make the shot?
Yes. He's undercover and
Okay.
everything.
Oh, I thought you said he like laid down in the open and everything.
Yeah, no, he's behind cover and everything. He's just screaming, I surrender, man! I surrender!
Oh,
Fuck!"
shoot. I'd have at least approached him before I shot him.
So you're gonna move up?
Yeah.
Okay. Are we doing a full run here to get up to the house?
Sure.
Okay. Harriet is not gonna shoot right now because unlike the rest of you, she's not a murder hobo. Gwen?
Coward.
I am a murder hobo. I would like to keep shooting.
Yeah, Hassill is blocking your way.
Oh, boo!
He
getting
just
away
ran
my-
into your line of fire.
I guess I'll move closer to the house, see if there's anybody else.
Blair, you can see Hassill right there. It's not safe for you. If you fumble this, you'll hit him.
Yeah, I'm not gonna fire. I'm gonna move closer as well.
Morgan, like so many others, is also moving closer. Hassill. You are right next to the wall here.
Cool. And can I see
You
him?
can see the guy. Yeah, you can see him. He's lying there and just, it's fake! Don't fucking kill me, man! Don't kill me! It's just hands raised and...
Plus 20 for stationary target.
Oh my god.
I already made the sanity check.
You
I don't
are
know
the
what you want
worst.
from me.
You are the worst. Target is prone, so that's a minus 20, but target is also standing pretty much totally still, so that's a plus 20. And it's very short range, so plus 20. So you net plus 20. You're just killing someone in cold blood here. But you
I've
already
got plus
did the
20
sanity
here.
check, didn't
Here
you?
it is.
So you're fine.
I did.
Okay then. Roll the lethal.
Look, and here's my thing. We started the fight. He doesn't get to determine when it's over.
See,
roll
you have all the
lethality.
cards.
You're killing a guy in cold blood. That's what's happening.
Quite.
Lethality is 10% on that one, so he's actually not dead.
9 damage.
9 damage is a lot. He is going to scream in pain as you just fill him with lead. Haggard is not shooting. He is going to run because clearly trying to give up was the wrong answer. So he's just, getting over here, trying best to. Here's his problem. Because they have such a nice fortification here, getting out of doors is actually hard. Okay, so he will need to smash a window. That's what he will need to do. Okay, there's a window here. He's gonna do that. You can hear him smashing a window over here. That's what he's done. He'll be able to jump out next turn. Gwyn! Still getting closer. Running again.
If I caught sight of the dude trying to get out of the window.
Nope, you're on the wrong side. He's on the other side of the building.
Yeah, I keep going towards the house.
Very well. Blair, running.
Yep, getting closer.
You are almost on top of the building now. Morgan took a little bit more of a circumspect approach here, so she's still not going to be able to engage anyone, but she's going to be able to intercept him when he comes out.
I was gonna call for Morgan. So.
Oh my god. Just murderous people. Hassill, and you can take a step inside and try to shoot the guy. If you want. Or you can just tell him to give up and surrender.
He's unarmed, to the
Yeah.
best of my knowledge.
As far as
I'm just gonna let him go out the window and deal with Morgan, and I am just gonna move into the building. And
Yeah.
you said I saw movement back here, right?
Yeah. So
What's back here?
it's a kitchen.
Okay. Do I see anybody
It
in the
looks
kitchen?
Very debris and things because, in fact, a lot of the debris from the living room here just blasted through the door and into the kitchen. There's still a lot of smoke and haziness here from the RPG. So it's starting
Okay.
to a lot of the smoke has gone out. All right, so this guy is gonna try to run as best as he can out the window and just leg it into the forest, which is Morgan's turn. Gwyn, you're running as well. So
Yep.
you are now inside the house, but you cannot take a shot because you've been running too much.
Next turn.
Next turn. Blair is also now inside the house.
Yep.
Morgan will shoot the person who is running. Because of course she will. Kill them all. Okay, it's dark and he is running. So that's minus 40. Is he going to get away? She misses. You hear the firing outside, and you hear the swearing from Morgan as well. Hassill, you are next to the door. We can peek around the corner a little quickly. How careful are we about the whole corners and everything? I'm trying to clear them.
Not at all. I'm pre-firing. I am going to start pulling the trigger as I rotate into the room, and I'm just full auto fire into the kitchen.
Vrum! Okay, fair enough. You are going to need a new clip afterwards, and the kitchen is going to need some serious renovations. There's now bullet holes all over the back of the kitchen, and probably some ricochets going off various pots and pans and into the oven glass and everything. It's just absolute, everything shatters in there. Harriet is not able to do much to help any of you at this moment, and someone is running for his life for obvious reasons. Just into the forest to get away from all this. Gwyn? Yeah, you've seen Hassill go in there. You've seen your Blair's right next to you. What do you want to do next?
Sorry, for the life of me, I cannot zoom in on the map. I guess just look around to see if there's any evidence of whether or not the two reporters were here when we
Well,
shot
that's
at
gonna be
them.
later. That's gonna be much later.
Okay.
Right now, it's all debris around here, so
They were
I guess
fan
upstairs.
out.
Yeah, I guess just looking for anybody else in the building that could still be alive and angry.
That makes sense. Yeah, so that means fanning out, checking other places. I guess what we really have to deal with here is whether Morrigan can hit the moving target in the dark or not. Which honestly is not going to be easy because minus 40.
Harriet, don't forget Harriet's got the sniper rifle.
Harriet's not going to shoot an unarmed
Oh.
guy.
Coward.
As far as she's concerned, the fight is over. Morrigan does not have any of those concerns.
Oh my god.
I guess he didn't make it. Yeah, without a noise, she hits him in the head, he's dead. To make a long story short, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to have some search checks, as
Yippee!
the fight is officially over. Nobody's firing at you. The upper floor is, of course, in complete shambles. You will find the bodies for two more skinheads up there who have been shredded by Morgan's missiles, rocket grenades. Wow. Okay, Blair is the only one who succeeds. You are going to find inside this cabin eventually. It takes a while though. I'm just gonna put, there is a door here down to like a larder storage for the kitchen. There is over here, there's a master bedroom, no doubt belonging to Horst Jaeger. There was a stairwell. I think it's, you could probably get up there and search through. Here, eventually, Blair, and this takes a good 15 minutes of searching, you're going to find a hidden door. And to make a long story short, it's behind one of the shelves. It's going to lead you down towards what is really a serious stockpile of ammo and crates. These guys in here, in this mountain hold, were literally prepared for a siege against the feds with tons of ammo, tons of dry food, tons of canned food. They could probably be out here for a month. The worst news is there is in fact a tunnel leading away from here through in the dark. By now, Horst Jaeger, and yeah, there's evidence of people who have been in this ammunition depot. They were obviously hidden in there. Fiona and Dwight, you'll find blood traces there. By now, they have a 15-20 minute advantage on you because you had to search the cabin before you found the secret door. They're gonna be in the wind. They had, at the other end of the tunnel, they must have had a vehicle tucked away. They're gone. They're in the wind. No idea where they might have gone. No idea what kind of vehicle they might have used. And I think this is really the end of Dead Letter. At this point, it's just bureaucracy, isn't it? You are going to, long story short, Fiona and Dwight will be found.
Yay!
A week later,
God.
Or so. Will they? No, I don't think they will be found. No, they're gone.
No!
You have no idea where they are. But there's going to be a big search for Fiona and Dwight with... I don't know what you tell the police about this place. Because the only thing you find here for your own, in terms of your own work, is 4 dead young skinheads. They are, what, ages 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, something like that. You don't know. You need to check their records and whatnot. A bunch of young adult skinheads who were suckered into white powerism, and you gunned them down without mercy and without, in just pure cold blood. They were outgunned the moment you started shooting at them. They were done. They basically the criminology on this is pretty simple. Lost young people who wanted to have a sense of purpose, found sense of purpose in hatred, and did street violence until someone commanded them to do differently. Of Horst Jaeger, there is no trace. I can tell you Harriet feels absolutely horrible about this whole thing. So after all this, all we did was kill some kids. She's just gonna look at Gwen and...
We didn't kill kids, we killed Nazis, okay? They were old enough to know they were wrong.
This isn't the
Besides,
fucking war. What's wrong with you?
I'm sorry, I thought Alphonse was constantly going on about how we're in a war and we've got to destroy the supernatural.
Is there anything
no, it's
supernatural
not a
here?
war.
Do you see
Yes.
anything supernatural? I see 4
Yes.
dead kids.
I see 4 dead kids who swore allegiance to a Nazi vampire. I'd say that's pretty supernatural. Mind you, this Nazi vampire also blew up the undead juice factory, so that's also pretty significant.
But there is no Nazi vampire here.
There
Just
was.
a bunch of stupid skinheads. They should have been
Yes, so why do you care?
They should have been in jail or some kind of freaking program, deprogramming. They should not be dead. How the fuck do we explain this to the authorities when they come here?
They were sheltering the leader of the organization that blew up the ABC plant. And that's it. We tell the truth.
I don't
And
think we
that
should
you got
tell
away
them nothing.
through the tunnel.
The truth is going to show you when the forensics expert come out that this guy, and she's gonna pointing towards the guy who was literally shot in the back by Morgan, was shot in the back while trying to escape.
Yes, by Morgan. He was in no danger. It happens, okay?
Alternatively, drug lab explosion.
We're gonna
Yes.
need to do something to cover this shit up.
Why? We did what we said we would do, and they approved it.
Badges. You want to keep the badges, right?
Yes, and we told them what we were going to do. We did it, and now they're going to act surprised about it?
When forensics come here and start asking questions, and gonna ask questions about how many bullets we have fired and how many bullets they have fired, that's internal affairs right there.
Yes, internal affairs happens all the time. It happens when there's an incident.
Yeah, and we're gonna have to justify this shit.
And we have.
No, we haven't.
Yes, we have.
We
They
have
were linked
not
to the
used
eco-terrorist. They were
force
linked to the
appropriate
eco-terrorist
for this
organization.
situation.
Considering they blew up the drug plant, I'd say yes, we did.
Do you have anything to connect the skinheads to what happened in Montana?
Yes. They kidnapped the reporter who was supposed to be the main informant on this, or the receiver of the information from the informant, who, mind you, was killed by these people. They're obviously tying up loose ends.
that doesn't place the skinheads in Montana.
No, but it places their organization in Montana.
Which doesn't justify us just coming in here and killing everyone. Coming in here
You're
and
attacking the
arresting them,
organization,
yes. Coming in here
not
and
the
killing all of them, not so much.
Oh, I'm sorry, are we supposed to just knock nicely on the door? Be like, oh, hey, Mr. Highly Armed, I'm going to kill every single federal agent. Could you please come let us arrest you because your friends blew up a drug plant? Thanks.
There is procedure to this shit. We tell them to surrender, we tell them we're coming in. If they offer resistance, then we shoot.
Let's give them
What
plenty
is
of
this, the
advance warning.
1950s?
As far as Agent Alphonse is concerned, yes. I don't like having to juggle 2 different rule sets for 2 different agencies, but I do it.
Who has the best bureaucracy skills here?
Minus 60.
Who has the best forensic skills? Oh,
50.
Quinn is gonna pull out some forensic skills here, right? You're gonna need to
Maybe?
stage the scene so it looks like they had a good deal more firepower and a lot more guns shooting at you guys for the forensic teams when they turn up. That just sucks.
Anybody else gonna help me with this?
I can.
I can tell you that Morrigan's forensic skill is terrible, so no. Blair is the savior of the group again. She hit
Thank
all the
you.
skinheads, and she manages to pull together plausible deniability, let's just say. It was a vicious
Not the
gunfight.
first time.
It was very bad. Clearly they had explosives in the house. We remove all the fragments from the RPGs. Very unfortunately, we thought the kid had a gun. Morgan thought it was dark. She thought the kid had a gun. She fired. Turns out it was just a branch. All sorts of excuses will be made. Hassill, do you want to roll your bureaucracy? 60?
May as well.
Harriet will help. Very well. And so it was that Z-Cell got away with literal murder in cold blood of young people who were just a bit confused, but definitely not past saving from their stupidity. Who are the bad guys in this situation, really? We don't know.
The vampire Nazi, obviously.
The vampire Nazi is definitely the
Unchecked
bad
pharmaceutical power.
guy. Oh yeah.
And the vampire Nazi.
The vampire Nazi is definitely a bad guy. And I have a feeling that when we get back to our anti-heroes of Z-Cell, Hassill will have joined Z-Cell, and we will in fact... Dead Letter is over, y'all! Completely over!
Finally.
Woohoo!
Finally.
Finally! So we can do some downtime next time, and you'll have debriefs with Alphonse, or probably Alphonse, because he cares about the Caretaker more than maybe anyone else in ACEL, because he's actually fought them before. And Hassill will get a new agent name. None of you took a single point of damage this time, because you were fighting a bunch of kids with handguns.
Yes.
No sign of Reinhard Galt, no sign of his commandos here. Good for you.
Yeah, thank God.
Yeah.
Maximum prejudice is the thing to use, and I'm not holding... The storyteller is not holding it against Z-Cell to use maximum prejudice. It's just that bitterness afterwards, when you call down an artillery strike on what you think is an elite Fallschirmjäger platoon, and it turns out it's just a bunch of Hitlerjugend with pop guns. Yeah.
No remorse.
Absolutely
Oops.
remorse. Yeah. Here we are, and see you all in a week from now.